Now where is this though? You know?
I have no idea. I'm just chilling on the live stream.
Are you like on YouTube? Because it doesn't look like it.
We on the YouTube
Oh, there we
somehow.
are. We're here.
Where?
We're on YouTube.
Where?
Hit it. Actually,
Where
hit
you
it.
see the YouTube?
Click it.
Where?
Where?
Look at
Matt,
where?
go watch ourselves.
I have no
Oh,
idea.
so we have to go to YouTube?
Chilling on the live stream.
On YouTube? Because it doesn't
Oh
look
God.
like
We on YouTube.
it. Alright, turning that off. Alright. That's working. Are you here, Matt?
I'm here. I'm always here. I've been here since the beginning.
I don't know how we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna turn the before I record on my microphone, right, Matt?
That's not...
This is a fucking endeavor. How do people fucking do this on a daily? Sorry.
This is annoying.
Even though no one's watching this, this is our first attempt doing live stream, so bear with us. Technical difficulties.
Mhm.
So Matt, I turned I turned the volume off on the computer, right?
Yes,
Do you hear me?
I hear you.
So I think what I'm gonna do to hear you is to keep the phone keep the phone going, so you know I can actually hear you. Because if we turn the volume on our computers, it's just gonna be an echo, and it's just gonna be endless. So I think that's the best way to do it.
True.
What do you?
No, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
I'm gonna start this fucking fucker. So this is episode 20, Matt.
It's episode 20.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get this microphone booted. Should I have it in shot so it looks like I'm professional somewhat?
You can do whatever you want. I'm doing double.
I'm like, oh yeah, fucking cool.
That's what happens when you're a cool kid.
Should I have it?
Dark the halls of the too early for Christmas music.
I don't know how this works.
That should be fine. I'm recording.
I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put a link on Facebook. Oh my back. I'm not recording yet. Sorry, Matt. This has been an endeavor, but I think we're gonna be learning a lot. Why did I typed in Facebook on Facebook? That's not what I want.
That's fine. I like how I'm like a small person and you're like this zoomed in thing.
It's a small world.
There we go. We're a lot better. I'm at a press conference.
I don't know which one to watch. The YouTube one?
I think we should know. You want to watch the one we're on now, so we're literally live.
Who are
to
you
us.
watching?
You don't want to watch the past. You want to watch the present. That's what we're watching on the regular thing we've been using.
All right, fuck it. All right, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I just put a link on the Facebook, but it's mostly just on YouTube. All right, I'm gonna record on my audio, Matt.
Okay, I've been doing.
All right, speeding. So speeding on my microphone, Matt. Say speeding, so I know where to edit yours.
Speeding.
Perfect. Oh, I caught the fly.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right, this is gonna be interesting. I'm not used to doing this on camera, but okay. So, where's my pencil? No, definitely turn that off. I can't listen to that. Okay. Welcome to BatYard's Finest, bringing you the finest of Batman and Superman and pop culture. From Metropolis, I am Josh from BatYard Productions, and then here I am with a very special friend. Would you want to? Do you care to introduce yourself, sir?
What's up? I'm Mateo. How you doing?
Yeah. So, well, now with the visuals, you could probably figure out who is who. Um, so this is our first, maybe. I know we attempted doing these podcasts before with the video format, so this is kind of our maybe.
This is a step backwards.
Yeah, this is maybe our second attempt, third attempt. This is our first time going live on YouTube, which
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone's watching, but please stay, and comment
Is there
down
people
below.
watching?
There's 4 people watching.
My God.
More than I expected.
That's dope. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Matt, before we get into the BS pop culture piece, is there any like little DC tidbits or stuff that's going on in your life that you want to kind of mention, or any projects or anything you kind of want to get into?
Right now, no, everything's the same old, same old. I'm still kind of like out of touch with most DC stuff right now because everything that I know of, like movies or like really TV shows, everything's being postponed due to COVID. Thanks. And then keep an eye out for our the Batman versus Superman movie that we're working on still.
Yes. So if I know I got a few comments on YouTube. Well, thank you for commenting. People have been asking me if this project's actually happening. This project is indeed happening. I just got a 10 gigabyte hard drive, so the whole movie's going to go on there. I don't think it's going to take up 10 gigabytes. Not
You'd be
gigabytes.
amazed.
Gigabytes is nothing. 10
Terabytes.
That's what I'm trying to say. 10 terabytes. Remember when gigabytes was fucking...
That was when floppy disk was still a thing, buddy.
That's how old we are. The gigabytes were big.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, yes, that's still happening. I do have some people helping me out with smaller projects, so I'll be able to focus on the big medium, which is the Batman versus Superman, the world's finest movie. So I would say that's probably going to come out more likely 2021, just because with this whole COVID thing, I wanted to do a premiere for the movie. And obviously, in times like this, we're not really going to get that kind of satisfaction of having premiere. So before, it's going to be on the YouTubes and the internets, on the web ether. I wanted to have a live premiere and kind of see a live audience's reaction. So I don't know where that's going to be yet. Somewhere in New York State, not the city. But
there's more in New York than just the city.
If it's going to be like a bigger thing where like the public can come in, we would love to see it, but nothing is set in stone yet. Yeah. With DC news, the only thing I could think of, I know this is probably kind of old news by now, that that would be cool. But Michael Keaton might come on as a live-action Batman in the Flashpoint movie, being like a Batman, like a older Bruce Wayne, like a Batman Beyond kind of story. I don't know if that is 100% correct.
Wait, if this Flashpoint, wouldn't he just be the Bruce Wayne's father?
No, well, apparently this is how they're going to kind of get the cross-dimensional, like DC multiverse with the Flashpoint movie. And apparently, one of the launching points is going to be Michael Keaton being like an older Bruce Wayne. I guess would be training a Terry McGinnis, like setting up a Batman Beyond movie. But I don't know how solid that is. If DC isn't working on that, then they're stupid. Get Michael Keaton. And other news, this is old as well. This is probably even older. that the Snyder Cut is actually happening. It's being released on what's it?
Hulu,
HBO
yeah,
Max.
yeah, HBO Max.
Yeah, so that's happening. Um, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's interesting to see that he got his chance to finish his film, but there's a lot of unfinished movies I'd rather see than Justice League. Like, I'd rather see. It took, for example, Richard Donner when he got fired from Superman 2. I'd much rather see his version of Superman 2, which kind of did eventually come out with, screen test footage with the Donner cut. But I like say this was flipped like back in the 70s, and Richard Donner was kind of brought on to finish Superman 2 like maybe a couple years later. I'd much rather see that movie than fucking Justice League.
I'd rather see the
I don't know.
Nicolas
I'm
Cage
probably on
one
the
over
minority
Justice
on
League.
this. What, Matt?
I'd rather see the Nicolas Cage Superman than
Yeah.
freaking Justice League again.
Oh yeah, Superman Lives. I'd rather see that too. That sounds
The
awesome.
thing is, like, they want you to pay for HBO Max just to see this stupid one movie. That you, unless you want to use it to see the other movies on there. Like, if I just want to see Justice League, I'm not paying a monthly subscription for one movie that I may not like. Again,
I'd probably do like 1 month, and just see that. It might be a series. I don't know how long this thing is going to be.
oh
But,
yeah.
I feel like after this whole thing, people are championing Zack Snyder for being the saving grace of DC. Everyone seems like they forgot that Zack Snyder is responsible for Batman versus Superman, and even in some case, Man of Steel as well, which Man of Steel has kind of 50-50 audience ratings, I would say. I think people either love it or hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't really love it. I don't really hate it. It's, I see its problems when I watch it, but there's a lot of good things about it, but it's not what I wanted from a Superman movie personally. I don't know what you think about. I know what you think about Batman versus Superman. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think about Man of Steel. Like,
Man of Steel, I give it a 5.
yeah, it's just adequate.
Cold hard 5. There's no real anything. It's dark, it's gloomy. There's no real. It's mostly just like action flick for some. Like, mostly that's it. There's no saving really. It's just there's no real saving in that movie.
Yeah, Superman doesn't really save anyone besides.
He
Lois,
just destroys the whole city.
and he punches a blue laser.
Yeah.
The music's great. Hans Zimmer's score. That's what they got right, was the cinematography and score. The score is definitely more memorable, in my opinion, than any of the MCU Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm when I'm talking about MCU, I'm talking about Iron Man after, because Danny Elfman's score for Spider-Man is phenomenal.
Is
like,
the
that's
bomb.
one of the most memorable pieces of music out of any superhero movie or franchise. But Man of Steel is, has one of the memorable soundtracks, and Batman vs Superman because of Hans Zimmer. Other than that, and the film, and like how it's shot on film and not digital, it's definitely.
Was it shot on film?
The DC universe. The DC universe is shot on film, like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. At least, I would assume Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman are shot on film, but the MCU is definitely shot digitally, and you could.
Oh yeah,
see,
they're definitely digitally.
You could see the difference, like in quality with film and digital for sure. It's a little more crisp. It looks more natural lighting. It's not as artificial looking, especially with the Marvel movies, but that's not what the Marvel movies are going for. But that's all I can really say. I kind of want to get off this topic of Justice League and Zack Snyder cut. Although don't get me wrong, I definitely am curious to see it. I would like to see what Zack Snyder does do with this. I don't think it'll be good. I think it might be better than what the fuck?
Nice.
The last Justice League. What is this going to be called? Justice League .2? Justice League Snyder Cut? I guess that's the official title.
Justice League Forever.
It's going to just be called Justice League. like to the general audience? You know, what is the general public going to think about this movie? That's what I'm interested in.
It's what everybody's like asking for. So like, it's just I don't know. It's gonna be weird. It's what everyone's been asking for like what 2-3 years now.
A lot of people are rallying it, and plus, the COVID happened, so film projects aren't really getting off the ground. So what do they have? They have a movie that's basically probably 50 to probably 75% shot already. You know, people are wanting it. There's an audience for it. There's a demand for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just probably filling the niche. They're like, oh, well, we can't film anything. We have this footage. We'll probably fill in the gaps with some CGI bullshit, and there's your movie.
Nothing would be worse than Superman's mustache deletion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a whole thing we could go into that. I feel like we should do an episode on like the DC universe in general. Like I said, I don't really want to get into it. I don't want to sound too negative either.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there's good qualities to these movies, but it's not really what I'm looking for. And
that'd be something else. We can do that another day.
Yeah. And we could talk for hours. If you really want to hear our opinion about Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, let us know. You know, Henry Cavill, I think he's a good Superman. I think he has a potential to be a good Superman.
He's probably the best Superman we had in a while.
Yeah,
so.
He's no Chris Reeve.
Yeah.
He's no Christopher Reeve.
So, like, no, he's not, but he is probably the best Superman we had since, like, Superman Returns and on.
Well, of course, because he's the only one we had after Superman Returns. Like, Superman
well, we still got, like, TV shows and all that.
Yeah, I guess. I would say I would say Tom Welling's a more fleshed out Superman.
I don't count Tom Welling in this category because that's like the first real
that's like
thing we had from 2000. That's just Clark straight up, like not even Superman yet.
Yeah, but he has more of a what I'm looking for. I gotta say. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. If you have questions, I guess comment them. But no one's on this stream anyway. There's 3 people watching. Amazing. I don't know if that includes us.
I think it includes us.
Probably.
I'm gonna give her one. They go away?
I don't know. Who cares?
Okay.
Anyway, Matt, is there anything else you want to mention before we dive into the BSBS pop culture piece? Matt?
Nah, I'm good.
What the fuck?
What? I'm just having fun.
I thought your video was actually frozen.
No, I'm not joking.
And then you're not talking on the phone either, so that just threw me off. So you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So we the BSBS pop culture piece for today's episode is Superman the Animated Series Monkey Fun, which is the 13th episode of the second season of Superman the Animated Series, and the 26th episode overall. Okay, so it's the 13th episode of the second season, which it depicts the appearance of Titano the monkey, where Lois Lane knew this little chimp through childhood, and it was launched into space, and eventually comes back, and it wreaks havoc through Metropolis by it just starts to grow.
Just grow.
Yeah, so
and I think it's like anger that makes him like grow even more. I think that's what happens. It's like his mood swings makes him bigger.
No, it does seem like that. So yeah, Titano is rapidly growing, and no one knows what to do because it's just a harmless animal that's launched into space, and he's just rapidly growing. He's been lost in space for probably at least a decade, more so, because when they shot off,
I think they said it's 15 years.
Oh yeah, I think there is like a little marker.
It's like 10. It's like 15 years of him being lost in space.
Lois Lane is a little girl when they launch him into space, and then present day Metropolis, which is 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1997. Lois Lane is.
So 1982, this thing got launched.
in their late 20s now. So yeah, Matt. I picked this episode because for you specifically, because I knew how much of a fan you are of giant um, monsters,
Mm-hmm.
especially giant apes, and I thought this would fit into your kind of repertoire of tastes. So I was curious, what do you think of Monkey Fun?
Monkey Fun. It's a clash. It's a clash between like, oh, but you've been talking. We're like, oh, I want to watch Mike Chill Young. I already watched King Kong 1,000 times.
Hmm.
I literally just watched it. I was like, what the? It's all the. It's like so many things going on with this. Like both of those movies combined into one. And but
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say, Lois Lane's father's a jerk.
you know,
Oh, the monkey's fine. He's gonna just go into space. He's gonna come right back. No repercussions. No nothing's gonna happen. And it's just gonna go and
it's
come back.
it's funny that you mentioned that because I wrote the complete opposite in my notes. If you could see, I have my daily planet
Uh
here,
huh. Ooh.
courtesy of Mateo Crispy. First time I wrote notes in it. But anyway, yeah, I wrote in my notes that General Lane was not an asshole. I wrote the
Oh.
complete opposite because he's usually depicted as this hard ass, like takes no nonsense from anyone, and
Mm-hmm.
like he's at least trying to comfort Lois when he's gonna shoot off her basically her monkey brother into space, and he's
No,
like, oh, he's gonna be fine. This is what he's, what he's
he's
grown
meant
up to
for it.
be. It's just kind of, it comes with the territory. So
No.
like usually, I would be used to General Lane just ripping the monkey out of her hands and just not explaining anything. So at least he's he's trying to comfort her in some way. So,
No, you're not wrong, but like he still is like a jerk. He just doesn't like he just tells he kind of lies. If you look at it, he was lying to her in the midst because he's telling her everything's gonna be fine in the midst. Like this is a simple launch. It's not gonna go off course at all. Nothing happens. When it first launches and makes into space, there's one guy's like, "Oh no, here we go. It's going crazy. We're losing him. We're
oh
losing
yeah,
him."
they're like, yeah, they're trying to reassure her like that, like, oh yeah, he's gonna be fine. We got the best military force like behind him, or something like that. And
No,
then
they
like
don't.
immediately he just like explodes and like it just goes into shit. He's just gone.
He just straight up lied. He couldn't just like there is like a possibility of something bad happening, but he was trying to be a good dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And oh yeah, and then the start of the episode is with the stuffed monkey, which sings "Pop Goes the Weasel." Well, it doesn't sing it; it just has a music box in it, and it plays.
And Lois and her sister sing the song.
Lois and her sister Lucy, which is I believe is the only time you actually see Lucy in the animated series is just that flashback when she's a kid. I don't think she ever
You know, I never knew she had a sister until this episode.
Yeah, she shows up in Smallville a couple episodes.
Oh, I never watched Smallville, so
Yeah, that's like in later seasons. Not too late, but late enough.
this is before you start hating it.
I think it's like on the verge. I think
Hmm.
it was like season 7 when it was like going downhill. But what was it? And Michael Ironside played General Lane in Smallville, which Michael Ironside plays Darkseid in the animated series. So that's a little fun fact for you guys.
Hmm.
And he's way more of an asshole in that show than in this. Usually, I'm used to General Lane trying to murder Superman in front of Lois Lane. So, like, from him trying to soothe the monkey with a stuffed animal to him trying to murder Superman, the contrast there, there's
It's a
definitely
flip
a
flop.
difference between the General Lanes, that I've seen at least. So this, I would say, this is the nicest General Lane I've seen. Oh yeah, what I wanted to mention with the stuffed monkey is called Beppo.
Hmm.
Um, and if you guys don't know, Beppo, yeah, this is another fact. Beppo is the super monkey. That's the name of, how there's Crypto the super dog? There's also Beppo the super monkey from Krypton. And that came out probably like in the 60s. So I thought that was kind of funny how they reference Beppo the super monkey, but it's
How
just
many super animals are there?
um,
There's more superhero, like
there's
super animals
there's
than just Kryptonians now. Like, how could they survive?
what is it?
Like, we're gonna blow up. Let's put Bippo in the freaking shuttle. Don't let's not put us in the shuttle. Let's put the monkey in the shuttle. No. I don't get what's this is the logic I don't get with Superman. Let's put the monkey in. No, there's no room for us. There's no room.
Yeah,
No.
that's where it kind of loses me. That like that's when it got that's when Superman got batshit crazy. That was like probably in the midst of the '60s, when they were just adding like Supergirl and Comet the Super Horse and
No.
Streaky the
Supergirl's
Super
fine.
Cat.
Comet and Super Horse. Where'd that come from? They put a horse in the damn thing. It's gonna put 4 people in the damn thing.
Supergirl at least makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not really that big a fan of Supergirl. I like what they do with her in the animated series. How she's not from Krypton. She's like from a sister planet that's like basically right next to Krypton. So Superman is still the last son of Krypton, which I like that a lot more than like, oh, he has a cousin, and he's not really the last one. It's just kind of loses its punch a little bit. I kind of like what they did with this series, but we'll get into that in a future episode. We could review that episode. But yeah, there's Comet the Super Horse, Streaky. I think it's Streaky the Super Cat, and there's probably a crap ton of more. This is when Superman was going off its kind of lever.
There's some fishy shit going on here. And
Yeah,
like,
this is when they made Superman really weird, and there's a time where Superman had a superpower of shooting little Superman out of his hands. It's the '60s with psychedelics, man. Like, come on, like.
So Superman just shot himself out of his hand.
It was just like one issue. I wouldn't say that's like a canon superpower.
No. Now you said it. Now we're gonna have that in the movies. It's gonna be a thing.
Probably not.
Next Snyder movie, he's just gonna be shooting Superman out of his chest.
I don't think it. I don't think it happened since that comic series. When you mentioned Superman shooting himself out of his chest, like Superman 2 when he throws the sign at one of Zod's henchmen.
That's like, fine.
Yeah, that's stupid,
but it's fine. It's a gizmo.
I'd rather have that than shooting a little Superman out of his chest. That would just, I don't know. Even that, if that was weird, shooting a Superman out of his hands is unacceptable. I don't see at all.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, yeah. What? I know that I wouldn't say this is like the best Superman animated series episode. It's probably one of the cuter ones. There's a little monkey. Lois has a little childhood relationship with it. It goes into space. It comes back, and it just keeps rapidly growing. And they don't know this. They bring it to Star Labs. Superman finds. Ooh, I didn't even mention this. Superman finds Titano in space like 20 years later. And he brings it back to Star Labs I forget what he's exactly doing in space. He's kind of hooked up with Star Labs with Dr. Hamilton.
He's like destroying like asteroids or something like that.
Yeah. It seemed like it was like some space station. There was like asteroids heading towards it, and that's where Beppo was like lodged in. Not Beppo, sorry. Titano was lodged into one of the asteroids, and I guess the asteroids have some radiation that create rapid cell growth. So I guess once Titano was brought back to our atmosphere, something with the chemical compounds created the cells to grow really rapidly. So I guess it's over a slow period of time, but it happens quite rapidly. It just keeps happening. But anyway, I wanted to mention this. I guess since we have video, I could show you guys, but I would have to go outside of the room. That in the episode at exactly the 5 minute and 25 mark, that Superman is opening up the pod where Beppo is. I'll show you guys right here if you guys can see that. You see that? You see that screen?
Kinda.
You can kind of see it.
Well, hold on.
Kind of's better than nothing. I'll be back. Give me 2 seconds. I'll edit this out of the podcast.
I'm trying something different. I'm all about myself, and I don't like it. This is usually a 2-man show.
I'm back. Okay. So
Okay.
I ordered an animation cell of Superman the Animated Series. I actually ordered 2. There's one on my wall behind me. If you could kind of see it. But this exact shot where he's opening up the pod, I actually own that same shot. We'll get a picture of it.
Oh, jeez.
Put it on Instagram, but here's a close-up. You can see that. If I have to push it back or not.
Yeah, that's good right there. Cool, we got it.
So I own a piece of this episode, legitimately. I own a frame of it. So that's pretty cool. When I was watching, I was like, yeah, that's fucking it. I have Beppo's, not Beppo. I keep saying Beppo.
It's a better name.
Well, Beppo's the stuffed animal, and the
Doesn't matter.
was going to throw me off. But I wanted to say, I got this in my notes, that Titano's first appearance was in 1959 in Superman number 127, and one of the quotes on the comic book was more fantastic than King Kong. So they're trying to milk the popularity of King Kong. Obviously.
Oh my God!
And that's actually exactly 10 years after Mighty Joe Young came out. Mighty Joe Young, the original, came out 1941, which is produced by Cooper. What is it? Marilyn C. Cooper, and animated by Willis O'Brien, and first feature film with Ray Harryhausen, which if you heard this podcast, I'm sure you heard his name before. We interviewed previous animators who are big Ray Harryhausen fans of the stop motion community.
You're a big Ray Harryhausen fan.
And Angus Lemons. So if you want to check those out, feel free. But anyway, there is a lot of references to King Kong and like a lot of vibes I was getting from Mighty Joe Young while I was watching this. Actually, I was getting more Mighty Joe Young vibes than King Kong. I don't know if you felt
I got King Kong later. Mighty Joe Young, like in the beginning, maybe to middle area. Then once it's like to the end, it just started getting more into the whole King Kong saga stuff.
What the fuck? You remember that PlayStation 2 game we used to play all the time called War?
Peter Jet. Oh, yes.
Yeah, the intro?
Intro, yeah.
The movie intro, it shows it's like this alien goo that gets on all these animals, inanimate objects, and they become like these giant monsters. So anyway, the backstory of the gorilla character, I forget his name in the game, but it's basically it's actually not basically, it's exactly Titano's backstory. Exactly. Which Titano came out years prior. I don't know, but I know originally in the Superman comic books that Titano shot kryptonite out of his eyes.
What?
Weakened Superman. I'm glad they didn't do this in the animated show. I'm glad he's just a giant monkey, and they're just trying to, calm him down a little bit. It's like having a big baby. The voice of Jimmy Olsen, I wanted to say as well. He voiced, I forget the actor's name. I'll have to look it up. But he also voiced Marty McFly in the Back to the Future animated short. Animated series.
Oh.
And I feel like with this Jimmy Olsen, they're trying to make him cool but geeky at the same time. Like he's like one of those '90s kids who's trying to be cool, like trying to wear and like have the lingo and stuff, but like now he's trying so hard. is what makes him uncool. You know?
You know, I'm just gonna say this. He had the slowest save I ever seen by Superman because I saw him and it was like the slowest arcing like save and ever. Like I saw him pick him up. He was like a couple of feet from the skywalk and everything too.
Yeah, so when Titano comes back, Lois Lane is in charge of watching him because she's the only one who has a personal connection to Titano. And she eventually gets fed up. The monkey's trashing her house. At this point, Titano's a chimp, by the way. He's not a gorilla. He's a chimp. So he's a regular sized chimp. He's trashing her house. She can't handle this. Jimmy Olsen comes over, is taking pictures. You know, he's basically just mocking her, go like, "Oh, how's the story coming, Lois, or whatever." And then she just leaves Jimmy Olsen there, like, "Oh yeah, you handle it. It's just watching a toddler fleas." And, and then that's when Titano starts rapidly growing. And at the same time, Superman finds out by the cells that Dr. Hamilton are looking under a microscope. They are rapidly growing as well. So that's when Superman and Dr. Hamilton realize that.
But they discover the blob. They have like a blob creature then they're fighting.
Yeah, it basically is like a blob creature. And
with tentacles.
Yeah. So fucking when Jimmy Olsen decides to run away from this giant, chimpanzee in the living room, probably, twice the size of him at least. He runs out. There's a fucking banana peel on the balcony. He runs on it. He slips on the banana peel, and then that's when he's descending to the bottom streets of Metropolis. And then that's when you see Superman swoop in and save Jimmy Olsen. But yeah, so basically Jimmy Olsen's like, "Oh, do you know what what's going on with Titano?" He's like, "Yeah, I had a feeling," or whatever. So yeah. Yeah, so Matt, I want to hear more from you. Like, what are your kind of like initial thoughts when you're watching this movie?
It just like I was saying before, it's like a lot of mixture stuff. But yeah, it's like how Mighty Joe Young is. Mighty Joe Young has this younger girl that took care of him as a baby. Then later on, like as they grew up together, they became their best friends. But Lois Lane doesn't have that mix. She just has, "Oh, I lost you for 15 years. You're still the same, and then you grew up into this giant thing in my apartment." And I love how she just like told she told the guys from Star Labs that she's like, "I really don't want to do this at all." She didn't want to accept like him at all. And she's like, "No, you guys can keep him."
Yeah, they just kind of threw her to the monkeys, basically.
Yeah, they're like, no, you're taking him because he's your friend.
Yeah.
Deal with him. And then, like Josh explained, he destroyed her apartment. I love how she was at the spa too. She's like, "Screw you, Jimmy. I'm at the spa, hanging out, doing my thing. And I only been here for 10 minutes. How much damage can a monkey do? It's a monkey. They do a lot." But I love how
it's a chimpanzee. It's not just
my bad.
It's a chimpanzee, and we know the damage that a chimpanzee can do to a human being with their fucking people's faces getting ripped off, and that's a regular sized chimpanzee. Imagine one that's rapidly growing into the size of a building. It's just gonna, I don't know what it's gonna do. It's gonna do something really awful.
No, he just gets crushed.
I mean, to be fair, they did have a relationship prior to that, so I don't think Titano.
But this is Jimmy. We're talking about Jimmy now. Lois is out of the picture.
Jimmy's open game. He's open season. Anything could happen.
Poor Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, but
oh wait, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, my favorite part is when he goes to the zoo. And the little kid's like, "Mommy, monkeys, mommy, monkeys." And I was like, "No, I know there's monkeys." He's like, "No, monkey." And it's just him behind him, this giant like monster. Yeah. And the other monkey's like, yeah, and open the gate.
They're going ape shit.
Yeah, they're going nuts. And then he opens the gate for them, and they all just run free. And at this, like later on at the end of that sequence of the zoo, the little kid's getting like stomped on by a monkey, saying "monkey, monkey, monkey."
Yeah, I wrote that down in my quotes. Monkey, monkey, monkey. It's like really weird too. It's like, what the fuck is this? This kid has problems. I don't know.
This is a fetish, is monkey.
Yeah. And I wrote down another quote was "Shut up and squeeze the monkeys." That was another one. I had to write that
Wait,
one.
what? I didn't catch that at all.
Shut up and squeeze the monkeys. That was like towards the end where Lois Lane.
Oh no, yeah, that's when they're at the carnival.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, at the fair. Yeah, I remember you're talking about. There's like, how do you lose? No, how do you have yourself set up next to all the monkey toys?
And they look exactly like Beppo.
No, they don't.
They don't play the song. They don't have it doesn't. They don't have the hat, but Beppo has the hat. But they're all wearing the same shirt. So there is a little bit of confusion there.
Yeah.
But, General Lane is the one who has the doll Beppo throughout 20 years. And
He
he's
played
it to Lois Lane, going like, "Oh, this is what's going to soothe Titano." And there's a similar kind of reaction with Mighty Joe Young, where they're playing a beautiful dreamer, and that's kind of what sets him to calm down and sleep and everything like that, instead of Pop-Goes the Weasel.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a similar kind of flavor for sure, like a giant gorilla, being soothed by these kind of children's songs per se, these lullabies. And I just thought it was an interesting parallel. And also in Mighty Joe Young, he releases lions, and when he's at the zoo, he releases lions there. So I mean, there's obviously there has to be some inspirations.
But he fights the lions instead of hanging out with the monkeys.
This is the complete opposite of the previous episode we did of the Arctic Giant, where the Arctic Giant inspired Godzilla and the Rhodosaurus from the beast from 20,000 Fathoms. This is a complete opposite. I would say this is wholeheartedly inspired by King Kong and Mighty Joe Young, and probably some other featurettes and everything like that. But yeah, this is the complete opposite. This did not create King Kong. Superman had nothing to do with that. Superman came out. Superman didn't exist until at least 6 years after King Kong was released in theaters. So yeah, so we can't say that Superman invented King Kong as well.
Then you said Mighty Joe Young came out 10 years before the comic even made this chimpanzee character.
Yes.
So that doesn't make sense for this either.
Before they show Titano shooting kryptonite lasers.
I want to see it now.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at the cover and I found one that wasn't too expensive, so I might get it. I might read it. I don't know. I might be on a future episode if you guys are curious. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. But there was a thing. There was like a specific thing I wanted to mention. Oh, Diane Delaney. I hope I'm saying that right. The voice of Lois Lane. She had a connection with Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, the same creators of Batman the animated series, with Batman the Mask of the Phantasm. She plays Andrea Beaumont, better known as the Phantasm himself. So she was previously that character, and then they hired her on to be Lois Lane. So I found that a little interesting. The same voice actors, basically doing the same voice, but she definitely fills the role of Lois Lane really well. And she's probably one of the top two portrayals of Lois Lane. Her and Margot Kidder from Superman the movie.
Oh God.
Erica Durance is pretty good too from Smallville. She fills the role too pretty well. I haven't really.
Can I share something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to share this. Where is it? We're going to share this picture. This is a picture of Titano, whatever his name is, shooting his beams out of him as Superman.
Yeah.
And then
first issue where he shows up, but yeah, that happens eventually. Yeah.
Then prior to that, I found this. This is original. I won't bring that up. Hold on. Let me scroll down. There's an original picture right here of the Adventure Comics. A little picture of him doing his it's blue instead of green stuff. But I'm gonna stop now. Bop.
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Oh, I shared it.
Oh, I gotta mention too. Dan Turpin, one of the cops that shows up towards the end. The guy who has the big bushy eyebrows and the gray hair, who's with that other blonde girl, Maggie.
Oh, the one that's shooting tranquilizer bullets.
Yeah, where they're trying to take down the monkey, the ape. He is that whole character, his whole persona, the way he looks, is all inspired by Jack Kirby, the famous comic book artist, who's also known as one of the co creators of Spider-Man and a bunch of a bunch of Marvel characters. Also created Darkseid. Somehow they had a falling out, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So Jack Kirby eventually went on to DC and created Darkseid, one of the best DC villains that are out there, one of the best powerhouses.
So, okay, I want to call a time. Hold on. Connor, how dare you call us
Connor's in the chat hose. Hi, Connor.
Chat hose. Oh, what?
I don't know.
Not cool.
I'm sweating my ass off. It's hot in here.
Oh, yeah, Connor, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I don't have to. Give me that, man. Here.
Okay, hold on. It's coming to you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
That work was that movie magic right there?
Movie magic.
That was movie magic. So, yeah, Dan Turpin is completely inspired by Jack Kirby. And they do a little tribute. Around the late 90s, that's when Jack Kirby died. And they did a little tribute episode when he died. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a good one. Maybe we'll go into that later. But yeah, there's little things that kind of stuck out in my mind when I was watching the episode, a little later, especially. Towards the end of the episode, they show the X9, X-9, it's that airplane ride is basically like a merry-go-round thing, but with airplanes, like the Dumbo ride, but with airplanes.
Yeah.
That image, it looked just like one of the Superman Fleischer episodes, where the ending of the episode is Lois Lane and Clark Kent riding in one of those exact.
Okay, that's dope.
So I was like, oh, I wouldn't say I would say that's probably a direct connection. I don't really want to say the episode's name.
What's the name?
Because it's in the middle of World War II propaganda, and it's a little crazy. It's not the best.
Oh.
It's not the best example of the Superman story. But Superman himself is not the problem. Just to let you know, it's not him. It's everyone around him. Okay?
What is that? I love how he has a PTSD moment and decides he starts freaking out, thinking it's the spaceship.
Oh yeah, with Titano. That's when he goes on Rampage. Yeah.
He goes more ape because he's like, that's the thing that sends me. Ah!
Yeah, there's another there's another reference that reminded me of the Fleischer cartoons. I know Bruce Timm, the artist, one of the direct artists for Batman and Superman animated series, was directly inspired by Fleischer Superman series. So he, I feel like there's some little inklings of inspirations or shots that he puts in each episode. There's also another Fleischer episode called what the hell was it called? Terror of the Midway. And Terror of the Midway is another Superman short where he fights a giant gorilla. So I thought that's a little interesting. I feel like we should do that one. That would be a good future one for us to
Oh,
do.
wait, hold on. I think I saw that on Google actually. I saw like it's really horrible looking. I'm gonna say that. It's really, it definitely looks like an old chimp, like chimpanzee, like picture. Like, oh, don't keep me to YouTube, yo. It's
They didn't use screen
very bad
sharing or
looking.
anything. This is high tech shit, man.
What was the name of him again? The chimpanzee?
Titano.
No, the one from that other video.
I'm not sure. The episode is called "Terror on the Midway."
Oh, Super Adventures of Chimpanzee. Does not state the name of the video though. Damn it, that sucks.
I
Two
don't know.
Two Tooth, a little ship that turned into a gigantat, whatever the hell it is.
Gigantor.
No, it's like I can't pronounce it. You know me, I can't say words.
BatYard Inception. Oh yeah, and I wanted to say, did I even go anywhere? I just
I
commented
don't know if you did.
and it just didn't show up. Whatever. Sorry.
No, it showed up.
There it is. Okay. So how they eventually put down Titano was with the sleeping gas, which comes out of the Pop Goes the Weasel Beppo, I think. No, that's how they get it to get Titano to stay in one spot, and then they bring in the sleeping gas.
Yeah,
Titano.
they find like a speaker system and they put Bippo and just start squeezing them and they play the song and like, he looks at him like, oh, I know this, and then the gas.
Kind of soothing him before he goes into his slumber. But the shots of the speaker system, it looked like when there's like a still shot and it was just like the speaker itself, it looked like that could have been directly ripped off. Like that could have been not ripped off, but like that could have been directly into one of the Fleischer episodes. Like if that shot was in there, I wouldn't even think any different. It looked like it was like completely like a frame was taken out. So I thought that was interesting how they kind of made that look pretty realistic. I don't know. It's just like a little animation kind of thing. Like those fine details where you're like, that's like definitely inspired by this.
Well, I think they're trying to make the speakers at least look nice enough.
Wait, what's that?
I think they're at least trying to make the speakers look nice enough so you don't be like, oh, that looks like crap.
Yeah. No.
So I can see them trying to make everything look nice for that scene.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the Superman Metropolis of the animated series. It looks like it's kind of set in a future past almost. Like it's set in like it looks like it's set in present day 90s, but it's also in the future. Like they're shooting lasers. They got monorails. You know, the buildings look pretty clean.
Yeah, it's like the Jetsons meets 90s era, like living.
It's like somewhere it's like a future past. I think they did that on purpose so that you can depict like the exact time period where the Superman existed, which I think was a smart move because like if this was released today, you know, it really you wouldn't even think anything of it. You wouldn't go like, oh, this is the 90s. You know, it's still anyway, it could have been any time.
Including it doesn't help in like the lingo they use sometimes. It's not like it isn't like 90s lingo. It's like sometimes like 50s lingo. But then Jimmy Olsen's using like 90s lingo at the same time.
The only thing that kind of feels 90s is Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, it's like kind of confusing and different things. If you think about Jimmy's in his own universe, like a little world, that he's like, I got this. I got it set up for myself.
That's what I like about Jimmy Olsen. He's basically Peter Parker if he never got spider powers. He's just a loser.
Oh god, that's just mean.
I mean, he's the best kind of loser. He's your best friend. He's Superman's pal. You know.
He is. Even though when Superman's like, I really don't want you around me, but that's fine.
That's why I find him so funny. You know, he's a funny character to me. I do enjoy Jimmy Olsen, and it's a shame that they killed him off in Batman vs Superman, and it's such a waste of a character. But I don't want to get into that right now.
That was bullshit. We didn't even know that was him.
Yeah, you don't until you look at the credits, and you're just like, oh, what a waste! What a waste!
Zack Snyder
character. What a waste of a whole universe. But that's all I'm gonna say about those movies. Like I said, I like the casting, and the cinematography and the music. But other than that, everything else sucks. So they bring down Titano with the gas, like
Yep.
they do with King Kong. You know, they basically give him tear gas in King Kong. I think they do more of a sleeping agent in this. Then it's like the opposite of King Kong. They bring him to Skull Island into a safe haven,
Yep.
into where he would thrive instead of taking him out of his of his environment. They're kind of putting him where he would perfectly fit. And that's what I like about the aspects of this Superman. He kind of finds where these villains, or I wouldn't even call Titano a villain. It's just a creature of
It's
circumstance. He puts them in the perfect situation where they would thrive. He does that with Bizarro in an episode. At one point, he finds like this perfect world for Bizarro, like he finds this perfect world for Titano, and I find that pretty cool. Like that he just doesn't go like, oh yeah, well, let's just put him in a zoo, like like
the dinosaur.
yeah, like the dinosaur in the 40s. I feel like that's a little more acceptable in the 40s than in the 90s. Just
Well, who
taking it.
wouldn't want to see a dinosaur? Because I'd be happy to see a dinosaur.
I mean, no one learned their lessons from Jurassic Park, but I would
Well,
definitely.
that cartoon wasn't. That was before Jurassic Park. Okay.
That was an OG Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. You could say he invented all these things, but
God.
yeah, that's really all of my notes that I got for it's called Monkey Fun in my Daily Planet journal. If I can figure out what the center of this camera is. Yeah, look at that. Official. But I work for the planet. But anyway, this would have been a cool prop to have in our movie. If I was like, right, but
Oh my God.
but yeah, that's all I have to say. It's not the best Superman episode of the animated series. It's probably one of the most lighthearted and kind of fun ones. I would say. It's not like there's too much depth going on in the story. It's just kind of simple.
Mhm.
You just kind of get the basic essence of what's going on. There's no like overarching storyline. Lex Luthor doesn't even show up in this episode.
No, not any other villain. No, like it's just basically what's happening. It's a straight up story. Monkey goes crazy. Superman stops the monkey.
Yeah, Lex
There's
Luthor.
no in between.
He's usually in most of the animated series, so this is an interesting episode to start.
No,
BatYard's.
Lex just said this.
What's
Lex
that?
just said, "Oh, this is happening." No, I'm not worrying about this. I'll put the pin in this. I'll walk away for the day and just hang out. I'll play some chess.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this today.
Yeah, it's
Brainiac to deal with him.
Yeah, no, Brainiac is Brainiac episodes are really good. There's really great episodes of Brainiac in this series. There's one where he time travels. I don't want to get too into that. I want to see your what you think of it. I don't want to spoil it for you. That's a good one. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this episode about Monkey Fun. I would say it's a good watch. I wouldn't say start out with this episode. You could. It's fine. You could start out with it, but definitely start from the beginning. I don't know why we didn't do that. I think we wanted to talk about King Kong and Mighty Joe Young. Um, you know, and I know Matt's a big fan of those giant monkeys, so that's kind of why we started out with this episode. We'll definitely go back. If there's a specific Superman the Animated Series episode you want us to talk about, or anything in general, let us know. If you have any comments, questions, let us know.
Put in the comment box, right?
Yeah, put them in the comments box. Put them on Instagram. Yeah, put them where we can see them.
Put your comments on your mom. We can find them there too. I don't know.
We're definitely willing to talk to you guys. We want to keep. We want to be engaging with the audience. So yeah, definitely come on. Come on and talk to us. And yeah, Matt, do you have any final thoughts about Monkey Fun, or tidbits, or anything you want to say?
Actually, I don't. I had nothing. I said what I had to say.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that's we're gonna wrap up the episode. Yeah. So, well, Matt, what do you say again? This is and this is Superman.
Um, this is Matt from wherever I came from.
You say this is Superman's pal Matt.
Okay.
Becoming super friends one episode at a time.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Do you got that?
This is Superman's friend Matt.
Superman's pal.
Superman's pal Matt. Becoming one super friend at a time. I never can get these things down.
Becoming super friends one episode at a time.
Becoming super friends one episode at a time. Got it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna close the episode. This is when we usually edit out all this garbage, and then.
But you gotta see it all.
So you get to see all our screw ups. So yeah, it's just for all you guys out there. But anyway, all right. I forget what I say already. This is always a problem. I always need it written in front of me. Okay. This is Josh from BatYard's Finest, sending you off up and wait, no.
Up and away.
This was Josh from BatYard Productions, sending you off up and away until next BatYard's Finest episode.
And this is Superman's pal Mateo, becoming super friends one episode at a time.
Yeah, you did it, man. Crispy Olsen.
Yeah, I've been reading that actually. Thank you, Connor.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do an episode. We'll get all three of us on.
Yeah, well, you guys live together, right? So
yeah, well, Connor's literally in the next.
Connor, jump in the room.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what episode we could do all three of us. That'll be cool. That'll be a cool thing to do. If you guys have a suggestion, let us know in the comments below. Yeah, I guess that's the whole episode. Matt, you got anything to say?
Like I said, the intro, the exit tro, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, you did.
Outro.
That was a good outro. That was.
Thank you.
You did that twice.
No. Well, you had one that I had to do 4 times. Come on now.
I fucked it up. I had to do it twice. I had 2 takes. You just did 1. You're freaking You're
It's because I practiced before.
You're the Marlon Brando of podcasters, man.
Oh my god.
I guess this is done. Did anyone comment?
It's just Connor.
All right.
It's just Connor.
That's cool. Connor's better than no comments. I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Connor. Thank you for being the only one watching right now.
Connor, you have won yourself a t-shirt. Go to Josh's room, pick one up. Thank you for watching.
T-shirts. He gets them in his loot crates. He'll give you one.
I don't think you're my size. I'm sorry.
Matt's t-shirt says Crispy Olsen on the t-shirt. Oh man, you know what? I'd buy that.
All right, so I'll get like 10%. Connor gets like 20%, and you get the rest.
Crispy Olsen shirt. If you want us to make a Crispy Olsen shirt, if you want it,
you're welcome. Not even you're welcome. This is welcome.
Okay. If you want a Crispy Olsen shirt, comment down below, and we'll make one. If you guys will actually buy it, we'll make it. But yeah, all right, Matt. I think we're done.
Yes, we are.
All right.
How do we end this?
I don't know. We did the actual outro, so we could just stop.
Yeah, I know.
But how do we end the live stream, bitch?
All right, good night. Send me the audio.
I'll send you the audio.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, you're still there.
Yeah, I don't know how to leave. How do I leave?
I thought I stopped it.
Do you want to?
Are you sure you want to?
Are you sure you want to?